Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach. Today we have with us Dave Lorenzo talking about his proprietary 60-second sales system. Dave, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Mike. It's an honor to be here.
Well, I'm super excited about hearing about your 60-second sales system, and I didn't even practice that before I said it. It just flows really well because A, people know they need help with sales, B, they want a system, and C, they want it to be fast and easy. So all of those 60-second and system, boy, sounds exciting. Before we get into that, give us a little bit of background on yourself and then what led you to create this system for sales.
Sure. Thanks very much for asking. I was a business developer from the day I was born, really. I actually came out of the womb talking and probably talking way too fast. So when I started my career, I was actually a bellman carrying bags in a hotel, and I worked my way all the way up to leading a brand for Marriott International. And I took the startup of the Executive Stay brand from $0 to $50 million in 3 years. And after having a very successful career in the hospitality industry, I was recruited to start a consulting business for Gallup. Most people know the Gallup poll. Well, they have a good consulting business, very good size consulting business. And I took that from startup to $250 million in annual revenue in 6 years. And although I had all kinds of responsibilities, the core of any success I ever had was in developing relationships and then deepening those relationships over time. So that's where the 60-second sale really comes in. You know, people pick up the book and they think to themselves, oh, this is great. I'm going to make $1 million selling stuff in a minute. Well, you really got to lay the foundation and the groundwork for that relationship. And once you have a strong relationship with your clients, they'll take your recommendation and they'll buy what you have to offer in 60 seconds if they see the value in it and if you've been honest, forthright, and you've delivered value in the past.
So it's like being an overnight success, but it took you 20 years to have the fortitude and the experience and the testimonials and the knowledge to be that overnight success.
Precisely.
Yep. But let me clarify that 60 second. Maybe it's not, let's start the stopwatch, and it is 60, we get that, it's just a number. But are you saying that you teach people how to effectively, clearly communicate their sales proposition in a short period of time so that it's understood and then the prospect can make a buying decision?
Well, I think it's more along the lines of I help people develop relationships and demonstrate their external orientation, deliver value over and over and over again. And then when the person turns to them and goes, you've given me so much value, what can we do together? How can I help you? All you need to say is, well, simply you can help me by, you told me you needed a great luxury vehicle. You can help me by buying one of these fine luxury vehicles. I know this fits your profile. It fits the mold of who you are, and it's super reliable, and it's exactly who you want to be. When you sit in that car, you become the exact person you said you wanted to be. So take a seat in here, and if you like it, let's do business. And that's it. I mean, if you have the relationship, if you've delivered value over and over again, and I glossed upon something that is probably the most important thing in business and in life, and that's having an external orientation. When we were kids, we were taught, do unto others as you would like them to do unto you, right? It's the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Well, in business, we often, people think you have to sell by, constantly showing benefits and features that meet people's needs and, never take no for an answer and push, push, push. That's not the way it works. The way it works is you deliver value first, you deliver value second, and you deliver value a third time. And then people step back and they go, who is this person that cares this much about me? Who is this person that's so concerned with my success? I got to know more about them, and I want them around me. And even a terrible salesperson will be able to sell millions of dollars in products or services if they are externally oriented and they stick around long enough.
That's a huge, huge, huge point. And I think that when you think about sales or people in sales are trying to sell their product or service, I believe that it's so tempting to just get to the part where let me tell you about my thing. And I like your external focus. It reminds me of an old speaker's thing I heard from Brian Tracy at one of his seminars years ago. And you've probably heard this, I'm confident of, but I love using it. What's everyone's favorite radio station? WIIFM. What's in it for me? And if we can be externally focused on what that prospect is interested in, what's in it for them, not use the salesperson. Now you're talking about, you're not saying, well, our car dealership and the model of this car is, no. You're like, well, and see, you did that when you did that quick little role play pitch just a second ago. You already did that, and because you're well trained and well versed, but you already were going, well, it'll make you feel this, and it'll make you the person you are, and look how it feels when you sit in the car. And now all of a sudden, it has nothing to do about the dealership or that salesperson. It's all about the person. So switching that mindset and being externally focused is a really, really huge thing. I love that you brought that up.
Yeah, selling is essentially helping people in exchange for financial compensation. I work with a lot of professionals, and professionals can't get out of their own way when it comes to sales. They're intimidated by it. They think that they're going to be on a used car lot, hawking something that's not right, and they're just pushing themselves on people, and nothing could be further from the truth. What you're looking to do is you're looking to help someone make money, save money, or reduce risk. You're solving problems in exchange for money. When you walk up to someone and you say to them, we've met before, we work together in this area, what's going on, and how can I help you? The person says, well, what do you mean? How can you help me? Well, tell me what you're here for. What are you looking to accomplish? Well, I want to help you. Let me see who I can introduce you to. Let me see if I have something that I can do in order to help you. Who refuses help? Well, two types of people refuse help, right? Psychopaths and egomaniacs refuse help. Everyone else loves to be helped. I guarantee today, if you're listening to this and you're in your car driving and you see someone on the side of the road and they have a flat tire, if you pull over and you say to them, hey, can I help you? Let me help you with that. The person's going to go, oh, thank God you're here. They're not going to go, oh, I don't want any help. I want to struggle with this and get my suit all full of grease. They're never going to say that.
And they're not going to say, hey, what do you want out of this? What are you trying to get? No, they're like, thank you for stopping.
Right. They're never going to say to you, oh, I only got $5. I can't afford you. They're not going to say that. They're going to go, grab the lug wrench and get over here.
Yeah. Hey, you've brought up a word several times, and I know it's part of your ethos and mantra, which is delivering value. And there's many applications of this. I've interviewed Bob Berg several times, and his wonderful book, The Go Giver, is great. So it talks about that. Give value, give results in advance, serve and give. What I would like to ask you is, what's the easiest way for someone to deliver value? Because it sounds like just a cliche if you're just thinking, oh, value, but what does that really look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. First, you have to realize that value is receiver-based, right? So what I think is valuable might not be valuable to you. So you really need to get in there and diagnose first what the person will find is valuable. So here's what I like to do. I am, believe it or not, you're listening to me now, and it sounds like I'm full of energy and I'm excited, and it's just because I'm full of energy and I'm excited to talk to you, Mike. But I'm really an introvert, so I had to come up with a script for myself in order to be able to connect with people and make sure that they knew that I was interested in delivering value and helping them. So the script goes something like this. You're talking to somebody for the first time, and maybe you're on the phone or you're on a Zoom meeting or, Skype, WebEx, whatever you're using. You say to them, hi, my name is Dave. What's your name? This works at a cocktail party back in the day when we used to go to cocktail parties and we will again in the future, right? Hi, my name is Dave. What's your name? If you don't say what's your name, they're not going to tell you. So, hi, my name is Dave. What's your name? My name is Mike. Mike, it's great to meet you. Let me ask you something. What do you do for work? And then the person answers. No matter what they say, Mike, it could be the most mundane job in the world. I'm an insurance actuary. You turn to them and you go, that's fascinating. How did you get into that? Right? Yeah. So they begin to tell you their story. Now you've opened up a whole new world where they think you're the greatest conversationalist ever because they get to talk about themselves. So they start to tell you their story, and you say, how's things going? How are you making it through the pandemic? How are you, what do you think is going to happen in 2021? What are you looking forward to in the first quarter? What are your goals? What are your expectations? And they'll be thrilled to tell you again. They'll tell you, well, here's what we're doing. We've added this new offering, and we're looking forward to doing this, and we've got a strategic alliance going over here. Really cool. I know somebody who does, and then you mention some way that you might be able to help them. Would you like me to introduce you? And they're going to be blown away. And, of course, they're going to say yes. And that's the first way, the easiest way you can deliver value. Now, here's what's going on there, okay? What we've done is we've done something really sharp. We've not just delivered value to the person we just met. We've also delivered value to the person we're going to introduce to them. Why? Because they might be able to do business together. Somebody will make money and somebody will have a problem solved. Or they might be able to form a strategic alliance and market to people together. There's all different ways that this will work out well. Now, there's a little variation on this. I occasionally get this, and somebody says, well, I'm not that quick. What if what if I can't think of somebody that I can introduce them to? Really easy. Say, listen, it sounds like you've got a great business, and just from talking to you, I can see you're a really genuine person. Who can I introduce you to that would change everything for you? You ask that question, and if nothing else, it's going to spark a really interesting conversation. Why? Because people will automatically go to a place where they're thinking, maybe I could meet Oprah, or maybe you could introduce me to. They're gonna think big, and you're gonna say, well, I probably can't do that, but I can do somebody like this. What would you think of that? So what you're doing is your whole conversation is centered around helping this person achieve their goals. You just met this person 10 minutes ago. They're going to walk away thinking to themselves, man, I wish I had met this guy 10 years ago. So that's the quickest way to deliver value, especially with somebody you don't know.
And I like I perceive it as a slight twist in the one question you asked there, because I think typically in referral getting conversation trainings, you will hear someone say, hey, I do a lot of networking, and when I'm out networking, what's a good introduction I can be on the lookout for you to send you for referrals? And I feel like that sets you up for failure, because now they go, oh, well, I look for people this, and this, and then it's like no referrals come, and I might not be able to send referrals. So I think that it's a way better twist the way you said it, which is, who could I introduce you to that could change everything? And now you might easily be able to get one of your strategic alliance partners or networking partners, but not referrals for a client, because I think then that person you're talking to is thinking, cha-ching, back pocket, yes, send me a client, and you might not have the capacity to do that.
Yeah, what you're doing here is your whole world is all of a sudden built around the person who's standing across from you, and that's what you're trying to convey to them. So you genuinely want to make a connection that could be a lifelong business alliance. So what I don't like about the whole networking thing is immediately people begin to think to themselves, oh, this guy's in he's in a leads group, and he has a number of referrals that he's required to make, and I'm just going to be a name he writes on a slip of paper and passes at a weekly meeting. Instead, I want them to think, man, this person really they seem like they really want to help me, and they're asking questions that demonstrate that they're concerned, or that they care, or that they want to help me grow. And when people feel like you're in this to help them, and keep in mind the tone of this is super important, right? You can't come off as, you can't be the person who's walking around the room collecting business cards, sticking them in your jacket pocket. They can't have that impression. They have to have the impression that it's almost like you came there specifically to meet them. That's what you have to think. In the back of your mind, you have to think to yourself, how can I make this person feel like I came to this meeting, or like my whole day was built around this moment when I'm first meeting them? If that's your mindset going into the conversation, you're never going to fail, because it will come. It'll just ooze out of you. It'll come through your pores. And
that is a very specific approach to what you talked about, but I'm going to circle it back around to the giving of value. even though that might not at the moment have been a connection made like, oh, here's this person I'm going to refer you to and here's their number. Maybe there's not that, but just the conversation and the intent that you have, slowly and genuinely making that, idea. They feel like that was a valuable conversation, not just, well, keep me in mind, here's my card. So I think that that's really helpful too, because many times you get into the mode of, well, I have to actually pull out my phone and give 3 referrals for it to be a valuable conversation. But now I think that the stage is set that you better darn well next week, next 2 weeks down the road, find something and make a follow-up. Hey, it was really great to meet you, Dave, at that party last week. Hey, I was thinking about that person, the type of person that you would like to be introduced to, and I came across my contact so-and-so and just wanted to see, would that be a good one? I can connect you through LinkedIn. And now that person, even if that's all you did, strategically at that person, you've started that momentum going, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The one thing we all crave that we don't get enough of is recognition. So the minute that you call that person afterward and say, hey, it was really great meeting you. I've been thinking about our conversation and I got the perfect person for you. Let me tell you about him. And then you talk about it. The person thinks to themselves, you've been thinking about me? You've been, since we left, you've been thinking about me? Well, nobody tells me they've been thinking about me. Everyone is under-recognized. So if you want to deliver value to people, you can deliver value, Mike, in a way that is so easy. One of the things I tell my clients all the time, and very few of them do it, but the ones who do are overwhelmed with success. Here's a strategy people can do like right now. Go to CVS, Walgreens, whatever your local pharmacy is, and buy yourself some blank note cards, just blank note cards that fold over and go in an envelope, and go through your database, reach out to people who've referred you business in the past who you haven't talked to, and jot this down on the note card. Dear, put their name in, Dear John, I was just thinking about you and the time we had when we went to put in something that you did together. That was really fun. I can't wait to reconnect with you. Let's touch base soon. Can you speak next week? ? Looking forward to catching up, and sign your name. Then handwrite John's address on the front of the envelope, throw a stamp on the front, handwrite your return address on the back. Nothing printed, nothing that looks like it was, run through a machine. You took the time to think about John, to write the note and to write the address on the card, and then drop it in the mailbox and watch what happens. John's going to get that card and he's going to go, oh my gosh, this person was thinking about me. I got to call him. And you're going to get a phone call. If you did that once a year with everyone in your database, half of them would call you and half would figure out how to do business with you. It is uncanny how this works because you're recognizing people. We're all under-recognized. It's powerful, and it's from the Stone Age, but it works like a charm.
Well, have you, I'm certain you have, so I'll just assume you have, but Maslow's Hierarchy of Needs.
Right. Safety and security down at the bottom, recognition, recognition as you move up the level of the pyramid.
Absolutely. And people assume, like, for instance, an employer, oh, well, we need to reward our employees with more pay. And sometimes that's nice, of course, but sometimes it's like, let's recognize them. Let's give them a half a day off. Let's do other things other than what the traditional, reward is. So your example there reminded me of something that happened this week, and it wasn't a handwritten note, but it accomplished the same thing. I've got my homeowner's insurance and cards, all that with this one agent. He's been a friend of mine for 20 plus years. He emailed me. He's like, hey, Mike, just wanted to catch up and see how you're doing. Do you have time for a chat? And I was like, yeah. And so we got on the phone. This was, I think, Tuesday or Monday of this week. And he goes, hey, just so you know, there's no agenda. I'm not trying to, figure anything out. I just wanted to say, hey. And we talked for literally an hour. Now, he is a long-term friend, but I left that conversation going, you know what? That just felt good. And it's exactly what you just said, and do it with the handwritten note aspect of it. Nothing wrong with the email. His came off fine, but it adds that extra level when you can do that. And does that mean you need to send 327 per week? No. But guess what? How many are you doing right now? 0. So maybe you can set your goal of sending, just as an example, one a day. What if you did that one time per business day? That's 5 more a week than you're sending right now. And then you go on from
absolutely.
there when you start seeing some results. So, it's kind of like someone that does not work out, and you don't want to say work out 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. No way. You say start with 20 minutes, 3 days a week, and now you can go on from there. So I really like that really specific example of the handwritten note and let's catch up, and you just chit-chat. See what you can do to serve.
No, it is. It's absolutely powerful. It's low tech and it works.
100%. Well, let's do this. I know that let's wrap up with just a final thought. I see you're on your website, a free course, 30 ways to get more referrals. And I know that we've talked about, sales conversations. What is a good way that someone can reach out, connect with you, maybe listen to your podcast, all the different ways that they can learn more about your services and the way that you conduct business?
Mike, thanks a lot. I really appreciate you asking. So the easiest way is to go to davelorenzo.com, just like my name, DAVELORENZO.com. Now, here's the thing. For your listeners, those of you who are listening today, the first 10 people to email me at askdave@DLorenzo.com. That's askdave@DLORENZO.com. First 10 people to email me their name and address and phone number, I'm going to send you a $25 value, a copy of my book, The 60-Second Sale. Tell me your name. I'll sign it. I'll autograph it right to you. First 10 people. Now, if you're not one of the first 10, I'll give you a link to that course that Mike mentioned, the 30 Ways to Get More Referrals course. It's a 90-minute course. You're going to love it. It'll help you make more money tomorrow, and it's your reward for listening to Mike and his show. So ask Dave at DLorenzo.com, and the first 10 people get a copy of the book. Everybody else after that will get a link to the e-course, and it's my gift to you as a thank you for listening to Mike's show.
Dave, can't thank you enough. It was really wonderful chatting with you. Appreciate your time, and talk to you soon.
All right, Mike. Thanks very much for having me.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.